The car feels lighter. There's a lightness to it, but it does not translate into a lack of control. In other cars, you might feel that it's getting too light in the back, but not here. It seems like it's still connected to the ground. We are here in sunny Spain. It is finally sunny after a long while. We are with the Aston Martin DB11 V8. It is their new engine that is supplied by AMG. It will be in several cars. In this car, it makes the car much more sprightly and light. There are a lot of changes to it. The visual ones you will see will be things like venting changes, light changes, and of course the wheels. The whole thing will translate into something that is lighter by over 100 kilos, better weight distribution. It moves its weight further inward, so the handling is better. The engine is now behind what would be the front axle. They've adjusted a few things, such as the damping on the front and the suspension connections on the rear to make the whole thing feel and move with the same frequency as the V12. The end result, though, is it should be tighter and lighter and a lot more fun. We are looking forward to driving it. We're probably going to be going faster on the twisty roads than we are on the highways. It will be interesting. So let's go see what it's like on the road. We're in the new Aston Martin DB11 V8. It uses an AMG-sourced V8, but adjusted for Aston use. What it does, among other things, is allow the mass of the engine to move further back, which ends up with a 2% change in weight distribution, which in turn makes things handle a little bit better. They're using the V8 versus the V12, so you may not get the long-leggedness for what they called long-term weaponry or long-range weaponry. Instead, you have more quick response, although the torque does drop off a little bit compared. It handles very well. It's very precise. You can feel the back move a little bit, but it is extremely responsive. You do not feel the turbo lag, but it is not as frenetic as other twin-turbo V8s. So this can be a much more relaxing drive if you want it to be than, let's say, something from the Italians. Yep, you can feel the back move around a little bit. And as the engineers were telling us, their greatest joy came from the readjustment of the paddles in terms of where the ratios are for the gears and that nice little blurble you get from downshifting and upshifting when you're in the revs. The paddles, by the way, are a little bit closer than on the V12. That is one of the things that is in response to the customer requests. Internally, there's more blacked out trim. The chrome on the air conditioning vents, for example, has been replaced with black. Little details like that. The alloy wheels are different. The tires are the same, exactly the same as that on the V12. It can be as smooth as you wish. We've been only in the softest mode. We are going to go up into sport. I gotta say though, I was happy in the GT mode on those roads. Maybe that's why I was getting a little bit of friskiness on the back, but I was perfectly happy there. I would guess at the moment that you might get a bit tighter response in sport, but I can't say it'll make you happier. It's very comfortable in the GT mode, unless you're going harder. Down. Oh, by the way, we went to Besalú. It is an awesome place. I got to come back here with my family. Now we have moved up the ladder to Sport Plus mode on everything. And that's where you hear the exhaust burble change more aggressively. I do like the blurble of the exhaust. We're not running fully up to the red, so we're not getting screaming. The car feels lighter. There's a lightness to it, but it does not translate into a lack of control. In other cars, you might feel that it's getting too light in the back, but not here. It seems like it's still connected to the ground. It's a type of car that you could take on a long-term trip and then just suddenly pull off onto a side road like this and perfectly enjoy yourself. In Sport Plus, you will get more power, but it does feel a little bit more susceptible to being in the right range. But then again, that's why you're in Sport Plus, to be in that range. So in general, most of the time, you'd probably be happy in GT mode or in Sport mode. There, see, that's where it's a bit If you're coming below 2,500 RPM, it doesn't roll on as quickly. But honestly, you're not going to be there very long. The only reason we're there now is because we've got very short stretches between the curves. If you let this thing run on an open track, we'd barely be in those rev ranges. It handles really nicely. If the V12 is a cruiser, this is more of a tight little race car, as much as an Aston would be. It is an awesome drive. It is completely relaxing. They've redone a bit of the tuning for the steering to give you a little bit more, interestingly enough, a little more resistance. What that does is you have something to work against when you're driving, so you feel a bit more in control, and you can also roll out. Let's say if you're turning, you have something to work against, which makes you smoother, which just helps this car drive.